There is something about Artlist that most users completely miss. And once I figured it out, it changed the way how I think about the entire platform. I've been using the service for like round about 5 years now, and I just realized I was not leveraging its full potential. Today I'm going to show you exactly what Artlist looks like in 2025 and beyond, and whether it is worth your hard-earned money. They had reached out to me and asked if I wanted to review their service, but they're really confident about their own product, so they just said, hey, give your own honest opinion, we don't really care. So if I dislike certain elements, I will tell you very honestly, okay? So without further ado, let's get started. So first, let's start with the question, who is this for? Artlist started as a music licensing platform for filmmakers and content creators. So if you make videos for social media content or edit for clients, you probably know the struggle of finding good music that you are allowed to use and you won't get like copyright strikes. But here's the thing, Artlist is not just music anymore. They expanded into a full asset licensing platform, and they even offer AI features now, and I'll explain everything. So if you are really impatient and you want to skip ahead, I'll leave timestamp on the bottom so you can move to the specific parts that you find most interesting, okay? So here is how it works in general. You pay a subscription fee, which is either monthly or annually, and in return you get access to their entire library. That means you can download whatever you need and use it in your project, but I'll explain everything in great detail later. So first, let's start with the music, since that is where Artlist began and it is still their core strength and a massive use case for most filmmakers. Now, the music library is organized in different ways, which is actually pretty smart. So you can filter the tracks by categories, such as genre, mood or video theme, and even instruments. Or if you're really clever, a combination for all of those. So for example, if I want a cinematic song that has a, let's say, mysterious mood, and let's say I want to make this for a documentary style video, and to go even further, I also want to filter for a specific instrument, let's say like electronic drums, and then I receive this list of very suitable songs that match all of these filters, which is very cool. So if you want to download one of those songs, you can do so either as an MP3 or a WAV file. But there is a new feature that is worth mentioning, and that is this little symbol right here that looks a little bit like a hamburger, and what that represents is stems, which means individual components of the song. And if I click this, you can see how granular this gets. So let's say you like a song, but you want to get rid of the vocals and make it an instrumental. Well, no problem, just get rid of the vocals and use the other stems. Or if you dislike a certain element of the song, let's say the bass is way too heavy for the kind of voiceover that I'm doing, then I could just get rid of that too. So the stems feature alone really changes on how you can use music in your edits. So instead of being stuck with a full track, you can basically customize it to fit your content exactly. They didn't have this for a long time, and the fact that I added it is a huge selling point for me personally, as I like to customize my songs all of the time. Now, apart from providing filters, they also got other ways to find music. For example, the platform will learn what you downloaded and what you like, and will start to recommend songs based on your history. There's also another new feature which allows you to find similar music based on trending songs on either YouTube, Spotify or TikTok. So for example, this K-pop song right here by Rosé and Bruno Mars was trending for ages on all kinds of platforms, but I couldn't use this exact one in my video because otherwise Bruno Mars would show up on my doorstep and copyright claim my video. But no problem, because Artlist will suggest K-pop songs that have a very similar vibe, but they are 100% safe to use, which is very, very cool. Also, the platform has curated playlists for specific moods and scenarios. But Artlist is a bit special, and those are not only limited to music, but we'll get to that in a second, okay? Sound effects are another category that really help to raise the production quality of your videos. They're usually much better than trying to record your own or downloading cheap sound packs from like random sketchy websites. The search is pretty intuitive, so you can use filter functions to search for specific things. For instance, ambience covers background sounds, stuff like city noise or forest sounds, that kind of thing. And Foley covers more active noises that people or objects make. And if you don't know where to start with your sound effects, they have two categories which are called genre and realistic, and those bundle up similar sounds together. And I found they are a very decent starting point to find what matches your project. Now, you might ask, like, what is new on the platform? And in 2025, they started introducing a bunch of new features that go way beyond their original focus. Number one, they expanded into footage, templates, LUTs, and AI tools. So now it's not just about music, they're becoming a complete asset licensing platform. Footage means they provide high quality stock video, mostly in 4K resolution, sometimes even bigger, and their clips feel much more cinematic than what you would usually find on other stock platforms. They provide not only a singular clip, but instead a number of shots that match and can be edited in a sequence. So none of that obvious like stock footage look and feel, if you know what I mean. Things tend to feel a lot more natural. So check out this example of a couple of cinematic clips that I had used for a documentary style video. Unlike other stock sites, they don't feel out of place, and it's quite easy to fill up a sequence, which is a longer period of time. A feature that I like in particular is the fact that you can download log and raw footage in the premium pricing tiers, but more about that later. Templates are pre-built project files for editing software like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and FinalCut. You can download the template, swap in your own footage, and customize everything basically. And that saves you time from building all of this stuff from scratch. There's also a library extension, which is basically a plugin for your editing software. So for instance, if you're using Premiere Pro, you can access the files directly from there without going to the website, downloading everything individually, and then, going through the hassle of organizing the files and all of that. It's all within Premiere and it is convenient. LUTs are color grading presets that instantly change the look and feel of your footage. So you can think of them like an Instagram filter, but for video basically. So instead of spending hours like tweaking individual color settings, you simply apply a LUT and you get that cinematic look like almost immediately. AI tools are the category where they are pushing really hard, and they have a variety of different tools. For instance, the AI text-to-speech is a voiceover generator where you can simply type in your text and download a professional narration. There is a variant of this AI voice tool and it is called Voice to Voice, and there you can upload your own audio file
and then basically change it with AI so it sounds like a totally different person,
which is a pretty cool feature once again.
So here I'm saying a couple of random words and I'm just changing to one of the presets, and
as you can hear, it doesn't really sound like me, which is cool if I want to stay like incognito.
Lastly, there's a category which is called AI image and video, and that is probably my favorite. It allows you to generate images and video from text prompts, and that is very useful for stuff like storyboarding if you're pre-planning your video, but you can also tap into the style catalog and select specific presets to emulate a particular look and feel. So if you like one of those images that you created, you can then turn it into a video. That doesn't only work with AI-generated images, but also with ones that you shot yourself. So for instance, I tried to capture some drone shots recently, but unfortunately it was prohibited at the place where I was shooting, but no problem, I simply snapped a single photo, uploaded it onto the Artlist platform, and then I simply prompted the platform and said like, hey, can you please animate it like a drone shot? And it looks super convincing, and it stopped me from getting my drone confiscated. Last but not least, there is an AI assistant for Premiere Pro which you can install, and that will help you to edit. Cool. The AI stuff overall is pretty solid, the voices sound quite natural and not robotic like older text-to-speech tools, and the video generation is very decent as well. However, please note that sometimes you require a few attempts to get it perfect, and I guess that's pretty normal due to the nature of those tools because AI is still very much in early stages. Now, all of the A stuff is not unlimited downloads like the rest of the platform, but you get like 7,500 free AI credits that recharge every single month. You can generate quite a few things with that, but if you happen to run out, then you can also buy extra credits basically. And that is pretty common for AI generation tools because they require quite a lot of like computing power to create all of that stuff, okay? Lastly, we got Artboards, and that is basically like a playlist, but not limited only to video. So for example, if I select this artboard right here, which is titled Inspired by Fallout, which is a sci-fi TV show, the platform suggests both footage and music and sound effects that all match the look and feel of this show. And that is pretty cool if I wanted to create a video with like a similar vibe basically. Next, let's talk about pricing. The thing that made Artlist different from the very beginning was their commercial licensing. Now, before Artlist, if you wanted music for like client work or commercial projects, you were looking at sometimes up to several $100s per single track. Artlist changed that completely. One subscription covers everything, stuff like personal projects, client work, or commercial use. They are kind of famous for that, and it is still one of their biggest selling points in my opinion. Plans start at around $10 for music and sound effects if you just upload on social media. If you are a freelancer and do work for clients, I recommend the Pro plan, which is pretty amazing value. Now, if you just wanted access only to the AI features, it starts at $12 for the voice features. Or if you want all of the AI stuff with all the image generation and all of that shenanigans, it's $15 plus you can upgrade with more AI credits if you need. Or if you just want access to stock footage, these color presets and templates, it is roughly $32, which is cheaper when compared to similar products. And there's a plan called Artlist Max, which includes basically everything. So music footage, AI tools, and that costs $39.99, which is the best value on their website and honestly quite reasonable for the amount of value that you get. Now, if you want access to RAW and log format, you can upgrade for another $20, and I personally have that tiering, and I think it is really worth it and makes a lot of sense if you are a professional that has very high standard for your footage and want to match your colors perfectly. Plus, last but not least, if you are a heavy user of AI generated content, you can purchase more AI credits. So 7,500 are included, but if you want to purchase more, the highest tiering allows you to make hundreds of AI videos or hours of voiceover or whatever. Now, if you find this review helpful and it helped you with your decision making, I've got a link below that gives you 2 months for free if you sign up for the annual plan, which makes things even better. I get a kickback, Artlist gets a new customer, everyone is happy basically. Now, last but not least, let's talk about criticism. Like, I tried to find some valid criticism, but I really struggled because there is so much to offer. So Artlist, if you're listening, maybe give us a little more AI credits in the future because that feature is very cool. Now, there could also always be more of everything, like more music, more templates and so on. But overall, everything on their platform is more quality rather than quantity, which I personally think is a good thing because I don't want to browse like 5 million preset packs and only like 2 of them are actually good. It's not the kind of stuff they would upload, okay? Their stuff is legit and properly curated before, so they take away some of the work from me basically. And last but not least, my verdict. Here's what I discovered that really changed the way I look at the platform now. You see, most people sign up for Artlist still thinking they only need music for the videos. And that's how I started as well. But after a couple of years, I realized that the real value is how everything works together. Before, I was spending quite a significant time, like sometimes hours, trying to match music with footage, finding the right sound effects and getting voiceovers done, and I would do that in separate places basically. But Artlist now lets you build your entire audiovisual foundation from one place. Same licensing, same quality standards, and everything is designed to work together. Which brings me to the question whether it is worth it for you and whether you should use it. You see, if you are creating content quite regularly, I think a subscription makes a lot of sense, especially if you're doing client work where you need everything like bulletproof and properly licensed. So overall, I can definitely recommend it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, and I will see you guys in the next one.